Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Blade and Soul. Today I'll be talking about Dual Blade and my spec, the Lotus spec. What I've learned the past week and what rotation I kind of use at the moment, and I'm still struggling with it, I'm still learning, and while making this video my rotation will not be perfect. I apologize for that, but I'm still figuring out how to use this build properly without using macros, because I know a lot of people like to use macros and I don't want to use macros myself. I use easy spec, I should be able to do it myself by just doing whatever it takes to do my rotation, right? So I will teach you what I do, what rotation is, what I use, and what I understand of this build. So then again, it's not perfect, but hopefully it will teach you some things which you can play with and actually improve upon. So let's go to the game. Let's switch scenes. There you go, I'm in the game now. As you can see, this is my character, Shomura, and if I press K, this is my build. So go here. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. This is not important, you can switch between which one you want. Here as well, pretty much. And this one is quite nice to have, honestly. This enhances your Lotus Slash and Cyclone Slash, but you can switch between whatever you want. So the three first ones you can switch between. The last two, keep on this because it will actually help with this build. So the point distribution I have is I have 10 points. I don't have 15 points. So I have distributed my points over Cyclone Slash, which is my F, and I have distributed over my Wildfire, which is my V in Primordia. So otherwise I would add 5 points to Lotus Slash as well if I had the points, but I don't. So if you have the points, use it as Lotus Slash, or use it in something you want to buff as well, maybe your Downfall or your Upturn. That's very interesting as well, or your Primordia effect if you want to buff yourself even more when you use this. But this has quite a bit of cooldown, so keep that in mind. So for burst, what you want to do, what I usually do, is I press tab first, then I activate my talisman, then I tap again, then I press C, F, 4. After that I spam V. When I'm done with V, I spam my basic rotation in Primordia effect, which is different than my rotation outside of Primordia, because you can spam your right mouse button and F without losing too much focus, so you can actually just keep going. The moment you press your right mouse button, F, you will be able to press your C again, then press F, and then 4. And you will keep on doing this until your Primordia effect runs out. After that, you will do your basic rotation, which I will be talking about after showing you my burst. But first, what's important to know, what badge do I run? So, if I open F2, you will be able to see all my gear. Most of it is pretty nice to note what it does, but what's most important is, well, of course, bracelet. You have my badges, soul badge, and my mystic badge. So the most important one for me at the moment is the Warsong soul badge, because this one does extend my Primordia effect, and it does also change how my C and 4 work while in Primordia effect or while being buffed, because they can actually lower the cooldown of one another, or actually both of them at the same time. So depending on which buff you want to run, whether it's wind or earth, you need to pick which button you use first to activate the buff. So for wind you want to press C at first, and for earth you want to press 4 at first. So what you want to do is, while in Primordia effect, or you have plenty of paddle stacks, I will talk about this later, you will want to press your C and then press F and then 4 when available. Or for the earth buff, you want to do your 4 F C, and both buffs buff you in a certain way, a little bit different than other, but they will compensate one another. Especially earth will compensate your wind buff, because your wind buff does actually make you quicker. It does increase your speed by lowering your focus, so your focus you will struggle with, and that's important to understand. You can use the other buff, the earth buff, to actually complement this, because it will regen your focus and it will give you resist to debuffs for a little bit. So you need to switch between that and your pedals I was talking about. You need to stack that. How do you do that? So you have your basic rotation. If you're not bursting, which is your left mouse button, right mouse button, F. As you can see, what I like to do is I do 2 left mouse buttons and then I do 3 right mouse buttons and then 1 F. And as you can see, it stacks 1 pedal. You need to have 1 pedal available for your C or your 4, because then you can actually use one of them. As you can see, I can press C and I can press F of that, which is double lotus slash, if I remember correctly. I don't really know. Oh no, double cyclone slash, which is important because you need to use your double cyclone slash to be able to actually press the double upturn or double downfall, which should lower the cooldowns on your 4 and C. So let me do that again. So I do the basic rotation and I do another one just in case I messed up. There you go. I have 2 pedals. Now I can press C, F and 4, and as you can see, it lowered my cooldown on 4 and C. As you can see, I can use C already again. And I got the wind buff, which does increase my speed, but also lowers the cooldown, lowers the focus regen. And you need to compensate with that. So now you know that. You know the same for, you know that actually the same applies to earth buff. So if I want to do the earth buff, all I need to do is basically this: stack 2 pedals, make it easy for yourself. Press 4, F, C, and you can see earth buff has been activated. Resist debuff for 3 seconds and recover 8 focus per second during this effect. So as long as this is full and it's slowly depleting, you will be regenerating your focus, which is pretty fucking nice. So you can actually just keep on doing this, which is your basic. Now I was talking about burst, and I actually was thinking about actually showing you that first, but I didn't because I'm just stupid. Anywho, burst. What I do for burst, well, I talked about it before, but I do tap, talisman, tap, and then press C, F, 4, and I use all of my pedals. Now I can press V twice, and then right mouse button twice, F, C, F, right mouse button, F, and 4. It was very slow, but at least you can see that I actually got to get the wind buff again. You can do whatever you like, whether it's 4FC or CF4, depending on your situation. Do you like focus? Then use 4FC. If you want to have more speed, press CF4. As long as Primordial Effect is available, you do not have to press left mouse button to regen your focus. So outside of Primordial Effect, you need to press left mouse button. And I figured out that sometimes I need to press 3 times left mouse button and then 3 times right mouse button and then F. And sometimes I can actually do it with 2 left mouse buttons and 3 right mouse buttons and F. So you need to figure out for yourself whether it actually works or not, and what is actually suitable for your situation. Last but not least, what's very important to know is your tab. So tab can be 2 things. It either can be Blossom or it can be your Primordial Effect. So Blossom is the skill I have right now here. And what does this do? It does generate 5 petals, which is very important, because if you have 5 petals, you can use your Primordial Effect. You don't necessarily need to have 5 petals, but it's very easy and useful to have 5 petals available, because you can then use your CF4 instantly for free. You don't have to do your basic rotation with your right mouse button F or your left, right, and then F. So that's important to know. So the prerequisite for your wildfire, well, actually not your wildfire, but your Primordial Effect, is you have to have 3 petals. So what you can do if you do not have your Blossom available, because it has a cooldown of like 36 seconds and you want to do your Primordial Effect again, that should be available a little bit before your Blossom is. What you want to do is just do the basic rotation, whether it's 3 times left mouse button, 3 times right mouse button and F, or 2 times left mouse button, 3 times right mouse button, and then F. Doesn't really matter, just get yourself the 3 pedals. Now you can see my tab switched to Primordia. And for as far as I know, this will stack and will not go away as long as you don't use the skill which does deplete your pedals. So you can just stack it and just wait. As you can see, I'm just waiting here, I'm just standing and I'm not losing my pedals. Now I can just wait for the cooldowns if I have any, and then press tab CF if I want to go for the wind buff, or tab 4F and then do your basic rotation again, your right mouse button 3 times, F, and then either 4 or C depending on which buff you want to get. So there you go. And I actually forgot I had one pedal too little, so I need to do the rotation at least once. And there you go. Now I can do another one. And I did the earth buff. So basically that's it. That's what I know. This is what I figured out. And if I struggle with, let's see. Let's go for the one that actually makes me struggle quite a bit. So I will start with the rotation. You can do it however you like, honestly. Doesn't really matter too much, but I would recommend you to do the buff first before you actually press your V, because that's more useful. And there we go. I need to do the basic rotation to lower this cooldown. And as you can see, I can already use my Primordia effect if I want to, but it has cooldown, so I need to wait for that still. So meanwhile, I can actually do this. And what I notice is I usually end up struggling with focus. You can see here, I'm depleting quite a lot of focus, quite a bit, and I cannot do this anymore. What I can do, I can press my Blossom, and I can just activate Primordia. And in Primordia, I can actually regen a lot of my focus again. And then I can focus on getting my focus buff, which is my 4FC. So I'm just waiting here for the cooldowns. And there you go. I have focus buff and I can just keep on going. And I can just spam right mouse button F basically. But if you want to lower your F cooldown, you need to press left mouse button. So that's why I actually recommend you to use your left mouse button as well, to lower the cooldown of your F. So I can actually do this again. And I'm regenning my focus, as you can see, so I'm not struggling anymore. So this is pretty much it. This is what I use. The rotation here is kind of weird, I guess. I didn't show you proper rotation because I don't have a real proper rotation where I actually fix my focus, because I struggled with focus and I just recently figured out, oh, I can actually reset my focus this way and compensate. So I wouldn't say this build is extremely easy, like it's the easiest thing ever, but I would also not say it's difficult. So all you need to do is just look at whatever you need to use. If you see you're struggling with your focus, make sure you get the earth buff and use Blossom if you really need to. And you can just keep on going, switching between your earth buff and your wind buff. This is what I like to do. Some people probably don't do that, but this is what I do. This is my rotation and this is my stuff. I'm messing up here. And there you go. Fix that. I need to focus after my rotation, my burst rotation, what I should do. My weapon is almost broken, or it's broken, in fact. And then you can actually burst here. As you can see, I'm not very accustomed to it yet. I still need to practice quite a bit because I need to look at the focus and fix that. I need to switch my rotation a little bit more. But that's pretty much my rotation in a nutshell, and I saw myself burst up to 12 million with this character, with even lower AP than I have right now, and with pretty much the same gear except for the added belt, or maybe I did have the added belt but not yet the Suncatcher gloves. So there's that. So this video is a little bit long, I know, I'm sorry for that, but I just wanted to show you what I learned this past week playing Dual Blade myself, and just doing shit and just practicing some things and figuring things out slowly. If you have questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comment sections. If you have tips, please, I'm open for that. I want to learn to play this class better, because I'm actually contemplating whether I should switch to this class or stick with my Blade Master, my Lightning Blade Master, because I love both classes quite a lot, and I actually prefer this build over the first spec. And I actually thought I would like the first spec more initially when I saw the trailer and the gameplay trailer, and then a little bit of gameplay, but it was a little bit slow, whereas this one felt a little bit more fluid and quick compared to the first spec. Even though that's much stronger, I like this one more. So it's very similar to the Lightning Blade Master in the past. It was very weak, it was the weakest spec, but I enjoyed it more, so I stuck to it. And if you are playing a Dual Blade or are contemplating on playing it as well, what do you think of this specific build and the buffs, debuffs, and everything that actually works in this specific build? Or do you like the first spec more? Let me know in the comment section below, because I'm actually quite curious. I see a lot of people like the first spec quite a bit, and this spec is not as much loved, but still loved. So without further ado, hope you like this video, and see you in the next one. Today I'm actually streaming as well at 2 PM CET time, so make sure to check that out. I'm going to play some Valorant probably, or maybe some Final Fantasy XIV, and then eventually I will switch over to Blade and Soul, playing with this Dual Blade character. So hope to see you there, and see you in the next video. Bye.